Live. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Young Guns podcast. Number one. We're live. We're live, homie.
Oh my god.
The intro got fucked, but it's all good.
Yeah, whatever, I guess. That's kind of disappointing for our first live.
It's all good. It's all good. Welcome to the Young Guns podcast, number one NHL podcast. Clearly from that intro. So I guess we're gonna talk about the Kotkaniemi and Dvorak and things going on in the NHL.
Well, the Kotkaniemi offer sheet that was given 2 weeks ago by the Carolina Hurricanes in what I think a lot of people considered a revenge offer sheet.
6.1 schmackaroons.
It was a fucking revenge offer sheet, man. Whatever Waddell, whatever his fucking name is, says, okay, it's bullshit. It's clear as day. He literally did it because he out of spite of what Bergevin did a couple years back when they tried to get Aho. They knew they were up against the cap and whatever. Apparently, that the owner couldn't afford their players, whatever the crap the situation was. And he took advantage of that. And people laughed at the offer because he's like, yeah, definitely going to match it. It's their like franchise player. Yeah. So that's what they did. And, you know, what is it, like 3-4 years later? Now we're in this situation where Kotkaniemi gets offer sheeted. Montreal is stuck in cap wise, and you know we're screwed.
Thank God they have LTIR.
Yeah, and we're screwed like on the center depth. So what this forces us to
not screwed anymore.
Yeah, because you get Dvorak, which he's established, and he has a really good contract.
You got a better center. You got a guy who's older, but you know the thing is that Carolina offered KK $6.1 million, and I saw that. And when the offer sheet came out, right, I was just sitting on my couch with my parents, and I'm watching TV, and I get the notification on my phone, and I'm like, 6.1 million for a player that hasn't proven himself at the NHL level at all. Like, yeah, he had good playoff stats. Nobody's saying anything about KK's playoff stats. He did well in the playoffs, but there's a reason he was scratched in the last 2 games of the Stanley Cup Final. There was a reason he was scratched in the first 2 games of the playoffs. And, you know, I'm sorry, but like 6.1 million for a guy who's 21 years old. Yes, he can still develop, but like, I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. And Carolina, if they're saying that it's a revenge offer sheet, or even if it's not a revenge offer sheet, it's not a great way to give revenge when you're overpaying for a guy 3 times more than what he's worth.
Let's go back to what you said before. You were watching this with your parents. It must have been a boring night.
No, I was watching TV, okay? I was watching TV, okay? There was nothing much to do. So I was like, okay, and then all of a sudden I just get this notification on my phone. I'm like, okay, well, there's something to talk about now. So
what was your initial thoughts when the offer sheet was made?
Well, when they first saw it, or when they accepted,
like when you first found out
about
the offer sheet, like about the offer sheet that Carolina offered.
Oh, honestly, I was like, oh, thank God. Because, like, honestly, he's not. I honestly think at best he's a third line guy, or maybe could potentially turn into a second, but he'll never be a first.
Yeah, because you got Nick Suzuki.
There's no chance. Not even at that on any other team. Like what now? What would he be playing in Carolina with third, fourth line?
Well, nice. Carolina said they're putting him on the wing to start off.
Why?
And then they're going to see what happens after.
You have Derek Stepan. You have Nikas. You have Aho, you have Jordan Stahl.
So they paid 6.
I think you also have Trocheck as well, who plays center.
Yeah, so 6.1 million for a guy
this is just
playing,
6 centers.
Who's a center but playing wing.
Yeah, but a center's going to wing is easier than a winger going to center.
Yeah, but then what happens if they lose a center and they want to move him back?
Yeah, he's played center his whole career. It's gonna be fine.
And it's Derek Stepan. Like, let's be honest.
You have
his last year, to be honest.
You have to put KK in a position to succeed, and I think that in Carolina, I don't think that Carolina expected Montreal to just take the compensation.
They didn't want him,
right? And they can say all these things that they want in the press conferences, and Don Waddell can come out and say what he wants to say, and we believed in him, whatever. The thing is, I mean, at some point they did believe in him, because if they're paying him $6.1 million, they clearly saw something that nobody else saw.
Well, they're paying $6.1 million so that they could take him.
Yeah, exactly. So they clearly believe in something.
Next year he's going to be getting a contract like that.
Well, we'll see. It all depends on how he does this year. I haven't seen anything from Kotkaniemi up to this point that suggests that he's worth $6.1 million at all.
Does he get paid like more than McKinnon, or like a little bit less than McKinnon?
I think he's getting paid around the same. I think McKinnon's at like
I saw like a chart where like
Yeah, it
he's
was-
getting
it
paid,
compared
like
him to
McKinnon, Barkov type of money. You know what I mean?
but they were
Because here's the thing: if they would have accepted this contract, the Habs, next year Suzuki's contract
Yeah.
expires? He's gonna come knocking on Bergeron's door, and he's
And
gonna be like,
Romanov
"You're
too.
paying this full 6.1 million. I want 12."
Yeah. Okay.
no, he's not gonna get 12. But
So I
uh,
get 7 to 8
just to-
million.
just to
No,
give
no
you a-
chance. 2 million extra than Kotkaniemi at 6.1. There's no way in hell.
just to give you some clarity,
It's the same thing between Matthews and
The
Marner.
situation's different. He was offer sheeted. He has to understand that.
But I'm just gonna give
Everyone
you,
knows he's not worth that. He's worth $2.5, $3 million max.
Yeah. I'm just gonna give you some clarity. Nathan McKinnon's getting paid $6.3 million. Just put that into perspective. For a
Yeah, I
second.
saw a whole list of like the comparisons of contracts, and like there's like franchise players, probably top 10 guys in the league, getting paid around the same amount as Kotkaniemi, and this guy's like a 30-point player, not even.
But
He's a reach. Let's go back to the 2018 draft, okay? You have Brady the Chuck. You have
Yeah,
Quinn
we spoke
Hughes.
about this in the last video. He was supposed to go 16th. 10 to 16.
well, he was projected to be in the top. There was a lot of scouts that had him in the top 10, but nobody expected him to fall to number 3. I think at number 3 it was a bit of a reach when they drafted him. But Montreal went based on position. They didn't go based on talent or on skill.
And they gotta
Because if
stop
they
doing
would have
that.
done that, they would have had a guy like Quinn Hughes or even a guy like Brady Tkachuk. So look, do I think Bergevin regrets the pick? I mean, judging by his press conference that he said on Monday, I think he does a bit. I think he does regret the pick, but at the same time, you have to own up to it. He made a mistake. He admits to it. And I don't think Montreal
I
developed.
mean, honestly, well, it led to Dvorak, so I'm.
But here's the thing: I don't think Montreal developed Kotkaniemi well either. I think it goes both ways. I think you can think about it and look at it from a perspective of KK didn't do his job the way he was supposed to, but also Montreal didn't develop him and put him in a position to succeed
They
either.
were desperate for a center back then, and now
Center
they're
back.
desperate for
They're
a
desperate for a center.
again.
They're desperate for a center back.
No, I
I
like
didn't say
that.
center
You
back.
said center back.
I
Oh,
said center back.
not center back.
That's
I know what
happens
he
when
meant.
you're playing
Okay,
a fucking
anyways,
Dallas and
it's-
Tampa Bay
it's
game
fine.
before the stream happens.
That's not even. That's football, though.
we're
talking about
we're going
soccer.
to
Oh,
completely
man.
different sports,
That's
bro.
what happens when we do a freaking live at 12 o'clock.
It's fine. It's all good. No, but in all seriousness, though, like, yeah, getting a center in Dvorak and getting him back as a deal is great for Montreal. But like I said, I think I've seen a lot of Habs fans, like especially on Twitter and even just in general. I saw a lot of Habs fans like upset about the fact that KK's gone. To be honest, like it doesn't
Why?
really.
I
He's a
find
cute
it-
smile.
I find it's no. It's because he says mint all the time. But honestly,
He got that from Mete. Your guy,
Yeah, and he's gone too.
your boy.
They're traveling.
Yeah, I was,
They're
I
Your
was
boy
honestly
Messi.
sad when that guy left.
Yeah.
And we need a player like that right now. Good
Puck
fast skater.
puck
Yeah,
moving-
his name is
moving
called
defensive.
Vince Dunn. That's the established version of what Mete was supposed to be, and the Habs failed to acquire.
That's true. But
He's a
honestly,
good
yeah, and I
puck
saw
moving
that too. I see
defenseman.
that on. I was watching Sportsnet the other day in TSN, and people were saying, "Oh, Habs fans. It depends who you ask, but they're horrified by what they did and like how they let him go."
Horrified.
Yeah, they were.
Horrified.
Yeah,
He
they
did
were,
us a
I don't know.
favor. He gave
I don't
us
know
a
about
first-round
horrified.
pick and a third-round pick.
Horrified.
and then
ain't
got
the word.
Dvorak. But you want to know the problem is
KK is
a
probably
lot of
less
these
than that.
people they don't watch like Western Conference games, so
No,
they think that
exactly.
this guy Dvorak is a
especially when
nobody.
you're playing for the Arizona Coyotes.
Exactly.
I mean,
And this guy, he's first of all, he's Philip Dano, but could score.
Yeah.
Well,
So
he's
I
a
don't
bit
see what the
okay.
problem
He's
is.
not
Yeah.
as good as Dano. He's a bit like
Yeah, not-
defensively.
yeah.
Defensively, he's good, but he's not as good as Dano. He's a little bit more
But at
like
least he scores.
yeah. He'll get you goals.
And he was doing what was his?
And he led.
what
He
was
led.
his points last year?
Well, he had 31 points in 56 games, and he was playing.
With garbage players.
Well, he wasn't. He was on.
He's playing first
Quote
line,
unquote.
second
He
line
had.
minutes.
He had the. Yeah, but he was like. He wasn't consistently with Keller and Kessel. He was mostly on like a line with Lawson Krause and Tyler Pitlick, which I mean that's Arizona for you, right? They just put a bunch of randoms.
So,
But
bottom
he
six
led-
players.
Yeah, but he led the team in average ice time. Meaning he had the most ice time out of any player in Arizona
So
last year.
basically, he's a Swiss
But he-
Army knife.
Yeah, because he can play any position. He played 5-on-5. He played power play. He played penalty kill.
That's what you
He can
want on
play.
your
He
team.
can play every single position possible for the Habs. Heck, you could put him in net, so he'll probably do a good
and
job.
honestly,
too.
if it like the way I see it, since it's like a three-way kind of
It's kind of a three-way trade, yeah.
trade, I
in
guess
a-
you
in a
could say.
sense, yeah.
Carolina loses in this.
Well,
I mean, you got the
it's-
Habs get their centerman that we've been
And he's
and
established.
who's established, great on defense. So you're kind of replacing Dano a little bit.
I think it's too early to call winners and losers because I think if Kotkaniemi goes to Carolina and let's say he goes out and breaks out in Carolina, I don't think he will, but if he does, let's say he goes to Carolina and he breaks out, then Carolina can look back and say, okay, but we got a steal over here at $6.1 million. Who knows?
Okay,
And I think
well,
Montreal's going to look at that and slap themselves in the face if that's the case, because you don't want to lose, especially a guy who's 21 years old, to lose him and to go to another team and succeed. However, I think Montreal's taking that risk by getting a guy like Dvorak, who, like Chris said, is established and has proven in the NHL
And he's
level.
young.
And we'll see what happens afterwards. But
He's like in his
okay, now
technically
let's
his prime years right
let's
now.
go back to thinking logically. And Kotkaniemi doesn't break out because he will
it's not about thinking. Well, he's still
It's-
21. You can still break out. There's still a lot of time
You
for him
could
to
see
go.
the way he plays.
I have a lot to say
he's-
soon, so
he-
finish
he's-
what you gotta say.
Yeah.
This is why I think it's a bad move. First of all, you got rid of your not a Calder nominated goalie. What's his? I don't know.
Oh
how to
yeah,
pronounce
Alex
his name.
Nadal.
You let him walk for garbage.
Yeah.
You
Third
then
round pick in Bernie's
you-
contract,
and then they didn't even sign him.
you
Bernier.
then do not
idiots.
sign your who's their other goalie that they also got rid of?
James Reimer.
Mrazek and Reimer. They got rid of all
Reimer.
three.
They got rid of Reimer, who's the one that went to Carolina? Reimer, right? No.
Carolina.
Reimer went
to
to San
Toronto.
Jose.
Mrazek,
as the number one
Mrazek,
goalie.
Mrazek.
went to Toronto.
Yeah.
They then signed Freddie Anderson for
Injury
He's
prone.
injury prone.
yeah, as
Inconsistent.
And Ranta, who's injury
for-
prone too.
for more money,
Yeah.
and then offer sheet Kotkaniemi for $6.1
And they
million.
failed to sign Dougie Hamilton.
Failed
Top
to sign-
five
yeah,
defenseman in the
exactly.
But
league.
like,
And then you're going in the playoffs, and let's say they're in a playoff spot, and they want to make a move on the trade deadline.
Yeah.
And because of Kotkaniemi's garbage contract, who are you gonna move?
well, Jake Gardner is
Because
getting-
everyone
well,
else-
now they're on Jake Gardner's on LTIR,
That's
so
like
it's
$4 million.
but that's where they get their cap space from.
You know, who are you gonna grab for $4 million at the trade deadline?
It doesn't
Maybe
matter.
someone
They
eats up
have
a contract.
it's that
half
cap
a
space.
contract or something.
The Gardner
Throw an
cap
extra
space
pick.
is to afford Kotkaniemi. They have no money after
and you
that.
lose a first, and you're losing a third.
Yeah, for a guy who we'll see what happens with him.
And next year's draft is pretty loaded.
Yep. And Montreal, keep in mind, one thing that Arizona got out of the Montreal deal,
It's picks.
Montreal, the pick is top 10 protected, meaning that if the pick ends up going in the top 10, then Arizona gets the other pick instead of the Montreal pick. So let's say Montreal misses the playoffs next year, and they get into the lottery and they get a top 10 pick. That pick does not go to
Exactly.
Arizona. It stays in Montreal,
So
and they
that's
get
why
the
I
other pick.
don't see why people
for
are
Montreal, it's a very
complaining
good
about
move.
this deal. I find Montreal, first of all, Montreal wins this 100%, and then maybe
Well, I don't know.
Arizona
We can't call.
second.
I say it's too early to call
I don't
winners
think
and
it's
losers.
too early. I think
I think
Dvorak's
it's too
going to
early.
come. He's going to be playing with whoever's scoring. All the wingers are scorers now. There's no excuse for us not to score anymore.
So the
Okay,
power play
I'm
should
gonna
be
give
good.
a simple breakdown. Okay, Carolina did not do what they had to do. Retain their Calder nominated goalie and replace him with good, established, healthy goaltenders. Okay, did not resign a top 5 or top 10 defenseman. Depends where you rank him on your list. Failed to do that, and you offer sheet for a center that you don't need, just to play him on the wing because they failed. Montreal failed to match it. Well, they didn't fail.
They
They,
didn't even
decided.
fail.
They decided to let
They
him
didn't
go
fail, of
because he wasn't
course.
worth it. So right there, Carolina's a loser 100%. Montreal, they get a player that's a Swiss Army knife.
I don't. anyways.
Wait. Swiss
I'm
Army
just saying.
knife. Shut up. Swiss Army knife. Okay. Who's established and has yet to enter his prime years of NHL hockey. Okay, and now he's on a team with better wingers. You have Mike Hoffman. You have Josh Anderson. You have
Toffoli,
Tyler Toffoli. You have
Caulfield,
Caulfield. You have
Gallagher.
Drouin, who's back. You have many wingers coming on that team that could score goals and pass you the puck and so on, whatever. Not only that, you're on a winning team, a team that just went to the Stanley Cup Finals. Okay, so obviously they have some motivation to get back there. Okay, not only that, contracts affordable, $4.5 million for the next 4 years, and you look at Arizona's situation. They're a rebuilding team. They took back contracts this offseason. They traded a lot of players away, like Grubauer, Dvorak, Ekman Larson, Garland, and they got first-round picks. They have 7 second-round picks. all because of their situation, because of what their old GM did, put them in a hole. And now they have like about let's say 14 to 15 picks. I don't know if maybe you have it on the laptop or something.
Who, the Habs?
They have
No, Arizona Coyotes.
Arizona's got
four picks, I think,
like,
if I'm not mistaken.
I'll tell you right now. Give me like 2 seconds.
And it's a deep draft as well. So
Arizona
three
has
first.
3 first-round picks and 5 second-round picks going into next year.
there you go.
And I don't even think they're done trading players
That's
yet.
crazy.
There you go.
And
So Arizona's a
how you
rebuilding
rebuild.
team, and this year is supposed to be a very strong draft year. So who are the winners? The Arizona Coyotes for rebuilding in a sense, and Montreal for replacing Philip Dano. But Kotkaniemi hasn't been fully replaced. It's going to happen internally, whether if it's Cedric Paquette or if it's Perot or if it's
Paling.
Paling.
I think it's gonna be Paling down the middle. I think it's gonna be Suzuki first, Dvorak second, Paling and Jake Evans third, fourth.
I don't
That's what I
don't
think.
like the whole thing of winners and losers, because I think I mean, I look, do I like the deal for Montreal? I really do.
Carolina,
But I'm
loses.
telling you now, you can't say that Carolina's lost yet because you haven't seen Kotkaniemi in a Carolina jersey and you haven't seen Dvorak in a Habs jersey yet. So it's a bit too early to call winners and losers, in my opinion. I think Carolina's right now at the bottom end of the deal, at the bottom end of the spectrum, and you can disagree with me if you want. I don't really care. But the point that I'm trying to make is, we look at a player like Kotkaniemi who's 21 years old. Yes, he hasn't developed in Montreal, but like I said, Montreal didn't give him the right tools as a player to develop.
What tools did he need?
Dude, they
He was
put him in.
getting
Okay,
minutes. What
at
tools?
18 years
what
old,
more
at
do you
18 years
want?
old, when he was brought into the NHL, they threw him right to the wolves. Yes, he had a decent start to his rookie season. He had a decent start to his rookie season. Ended up having a good start. Then all of a sudden, slowed down towards the second half of the season. Okay, great. Got injured on his knee. Came back, wasn't the same player. The year after that, decided, he started the season off, wasn't great. Sent him down to Laval, had a great start in Laval, got injured. Came back from injury, wasn't great. Came to the playoffs, looked okay, right? Looked okay, and it was like, okay, great. But during that time, they were playing him with different players at different roles, different players at different times. This year, they started the season off, he was playing with Tyler Toffoli. It worked well. It worked well for a couple of games. Then 5-6 games into the season, or 5-6 games that he went without a point, they changed his line mates. And it felt like constantly they were always putting different line mates on his line. You cannot develop a player when you're constantly changing him and putting him in different positions. You have to get the player to gain chemistry with that teammate, whoever it is. And that's what I'm trying to say with Kotkaniemi. I'm not defending him saying, all I'm saying is he's 21 years old. Montreal didn't do a good job of developing prospects, and they haven't done a good job for a long time. You look at guys like Nikita Sherbak, who they drafted, Michael McCarron, Alex Galchenyuk. And Galchenyuk, can argue he did well in Montreal, but the point that I'm trying to make is Montreal hasn't been able to keep first-round draft picks there for a long time. They got rid of Max Pacioretty.
Yeah, but they also don't draft properly.
But that's what I'm saying about
Because
development.
They always go
it's
based
about
on
development.
Position. They
No,
always go
not just
based on
that. It
position.
could also be if he's
when they
French.
drafted Michael McCarron, it's because they needed a center during that time. They went based on his height and his physicality.
It doesn't. The point is,
what
but the
happened
point
to
is,
him?
you can't develop a player.
Slow ass player, didn't really contribute anything. It was only good AHL wise, and then they let him go. Just like they did with most first round picks.
But
trade
they didn't
or
develop
through,
him.
Waivers.
It's all about, at the end of the day, here's the thing, and it could be about that too. Trevor Timmins last couple of years hasn't. The only guy that I've really liked that he's drafted a few decent guys. Obviously Romanov looks good. Suzuki looks good. We'll see what Gooley brings.
Suzuki didn't draft.
But that's not what I meant. Caulfield looks good. That's what I meant to say. Caden Primo, we'll see what happens with him. But look, like Ryan Paling, the guy's 22 years old, and he's probably still he's on the outside looking in. To me, don't get me wrong, I still believe in Ryan Paling, but one thing I can tell you is it's 2 third overall picks that Montreal's had in the last 7 years, and they haven't been able to figure it out. They couldn't figure it out with Galchenyuk. They didn't figure it out with Kotkaniemi.
Galchenyuk could also argue everybody in his draft year didn't.
No, yeah, fine. But the point that I'm trying to make is he was still a third overall pick. The point is that Montreal's had 2 third overall picks in the last 7 years, and they haven't developed into players that are superstar players. You look at anyone else who's a third overall pick, they're better players, and they're
drafted Morgan Ryan.
elite players.
Mobile
That's what I'm trying to say.
Defenseman.
So
But the
and,
Habs need
and I
enough.
think Montreal
need-
has a problem developing
kept
players.
Sergachev.
And this
Yeah,
is a problem in
of
Montreal. The
course.
pressure and everything, it doesn't help. But the coaching staff and the whoever it is, the trainers, whoever it is, don't develop their players properly. What I like about the Dvorak deal is that they acquired a guy who's 25, already proven in the NHL, already developed, can get a little bit better for sure. But I think with Dvorak, you get more of a player who's already proven himself and he's already shown that, okay, he's capable of playing in every single position. And he was on an Arizona team that wasn't great. So in Montreal, I think he's going to thrive. But I'm just saying, don't count out Kotkaniemi just yet because he may go to Carolina and surprise you. And if he does, then we're going to look back at this and say,
Here's
okay,
how I think it could have gone that day. So they got the
draft day, you mean?
He accepted the offer sheet.
Okay.
Kotkaniemi,
Okay, the offer sheet,
6.1
yeah.
million
With
And it
a
could've gone either
$20
two-way.
signing bonus.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
with a $20 signing bonus.
Buy his mom a freaking Christmas gift for that, whatever.
Oh, I think he's
bastard.
gonna buy stuff with a 6.1 million, but
Whatever.
we'll see.
But
But
he's funny. Honestly, like
it was-
I don't like him.
it was gonna go two ways.
I have my reasons.
It was either they were gonna match it, and
Oh,
they were
that
gonna
was-
maybe make a move with Buffalo for Jack Eichel and throw in some other guys. That's what I'm thinking that they were thinking of doing if they were to match him.
Jack Eichel
And I
wasn't
think
coming.
either way, they were going for either Dvorak or they were going for Hurdle. Those
Yeah,
are the
Hurdle
only
makes
three.
sense.
Kotkaniemi was never going to stay with us since that offer sheet. They knew right away that they were going to reject it. And if they were to
I think they
accept
were
it, they
happy,
would trade
though.
him right away.
Because they got a lot more value for him.
I
when
don't
he
think
was
they were
worth-
happy. I'm not going to sit here and say they were happy because I don't think they were.
I think they're happy.
No, I don't. I think they're happy with the outcome now. But I think when they got the offer sheet, I don't think they were happy because I know that Bergevin said that he wanted to offer KK a contract and that they had a contract ready for him.
Yeah, 3 million or
But that's what I'm
2.5.
saying. But
2.5.
I don't think they wanted to lose the player. But I think under the circumstances, they're happy with how the outcome came out in terms of getting Dvorak, whatever.
But the player's
I don't-
smart, and so is the agent. Getting offered 6.1 million, yeah, I would accept that. You know, obviously, because you're getting a lot more money, even though it's 1 year. And you know, like just the partnership between the Canadiens and Kotkaniemi, I feel like there was like a misunderstanding moving forward, and even for the last couple of seasons, like, you know, like what's going on there? Why is it not working? It's not like a good
Yeah.
match. And you look back at the draft year, okay? You look at the Kotkaniemi lady who was freaking out that we drafted him, and guess what? She's right. After all, she was right. She was the smartest one because she
Yeah.
knew that was a reach. We should have gone for a guy like Chuck, whatever. And that's
But not
the
only that,
problem.
if you really wanted absolutely this guy, can you just trade down and get extra picks?
Exactly.
What was the point of drafting him? Who was going to draft him?
Well, because look,
in the top
again,
10, no one was going to draft him in the top 10.
yeah.
he was
I
listed.
don't
He
think
was
so.
listed in
Maybe
the top
like
10,
9
bro.
He
or
was
8 or
listed
something.
16.
He was listed in the top 10. I can tell you right now. I can tell you right now he was listed in the top 10 because there was a few teams under the Canadiens that were interested in Kotkaniemi. And I'm telling you,
And
he would have. I'm not saying he probably wouldn't have gone past. I think he would have been still there at
And
5.
he's so slow on the ice, too.
Look, they made
His
a
skating is
mistake.
not great.
They made a mistake. The offer sheet was kind of a way for them to fix their mistake and get an established center that's only 3 to 4 years older than him, which is Dvorak. And there you go. Moving forward, we're not going to think about him anymore. He's gone. He's on the Carolina
He's gonna get
Hurricanes.
booed in his first game back.
We wish him good luck over there. It's fine, whatever. And we hope that Dvorak turns out to be a good player and it's a better fit for him compared to what it was in Arizona. Arizona gets their picks. They're rebuilding. I think they're going to do a fantastic job with those picks and all the other picks they got this offseason. And look, never was a fan of the player of Jesperi Kotkaniemi. I didn't like that he was immature, always messing around all the time with that mint thing, whatever. Okay, you have a little buddy like friendship, with Mete. He's gone. Kotkaniemi's gone. There's a reason why. They didn't have the mentality. They didn't have winning mentalities. And if you don't have a winning mentality in Montreal, you're gonna get eaten alive.
I mean, you
There's
can't
only
really
so
say
much
that
you can do.
he did well in the playoffs. You can't really say he didn't have a winning
That's
mentality
about
because
that's
when it
about
mattered,
the regular season.
yeah, but when it mattered most, he was playing well. Like he played well in the
Okay,
playoffs.
thank you for
He had
contribution. Let's move on.
okay, that's it. Yeah,
That's simple.
he's not worth 6.1
Every
million. I
time-
agree.
He was literally the most frustrating Montreal Canadian player I've watched over the last
Yes,
10 years.
that I can agree with.
Always falling on the ice, getting bad penalties, failing to shoot when he had to shoot. You know, very hesitant. And my God, man, the way he's supposed to build up muscle, be more physical and everything. They keep
He's
on telling him
skinny.
that every offseason. Did he improve that? No. Every time you get hit, you get freaking laid across the ice, and you find himself at the other end of the freaking arena. Okay? This guy, even when he skates, bro, He has Bambi legs, man. He's a freaking deer. He's a
Called the
freaking
Bambi
deer. Even when he looks at the camera and stuff, bro, he's like, come on, man. I just don't like him. I just don't like his attitude. I don't like the player. I don't like what he has because his contribution to the
He's
team.
a real hater.
Just gone.
Bambi legs.
I love to Chuck
I
because
love
that
that.
guy
That's
is a
amazing.
motherfucker that's gonna get in your face and cause problems. But that's a guy that you want on your team, and he has more skill than Gallagher.
Okay, but we can't have this debate of KK and
I'm not
Tkachuk,
saying
bro.
that.
It is
I'm
what
just
it is.
saying
They
from
drafted
day
him
one,
and that's it.
I
Like
know,
you can't
I
do anything about
understand.
it.
And the problem's solved now.
Yeah.
We fixed it because we got the Dvorak in return. It worked out for
Not
us.
only
Plus,
that, but
Kachuk's not even signed yet. I just think about that.
Worst comes to worst, if Dvorak doesn't pan out to be great, you can always trade him. He's so movable. Just
Dude,
get rid of him.
And his contract's very, very good for that type of player too. So it's one of those things. But I think they're going to keep Dvorak. I think he's going to be a good part of the Canadiens. And like you said at the beginning, he's a Danault replacement, and that's exactly what I think Montreal was more concerned about replacing Danault than they are about replacing Kotkaniemi, because Kotkaniemi you can find someone internally to do that. But with Dvorak and losing,
I could replace Kotkaniemi, dude.
I think
He's really not that good. I don't know what you
Yeah,
have with this guy, but he's really not good.
I mean, put it this way: he still got paid $6.1 million. So
whatever.
No, but I don't
and I'm
hate
not-
him. Listen, he's
He's an NHL established player. let's
he's
be
not
honest.
established. He sucks. I'm gonna be honest. He sucks.
What do you mean established?
And I'm gonna,
He's-
and you know what?
he can play in the
I'm
league.
gonna predict.
Hey,
You know,
game
Mystic
set-
Chris
hey.
predicts that he's gonna end up with 20 points next season, and none of them are
I
gonna
mean,
be
he had
goals.
20
It's gonna
points
be
this year,
mostly
so
assists.
I think he'll have more than 20
It's
points.
more offensive.
I don't
weapons,
think so.
I'll say he's gonna get 45. That's what I say. I
Depends
say
who he's
gonna
playing
get-
with.
There's
He'll
Teravainen,
have
no
40.
chance.
Kotkaniemi's
No
gonna have
chance. He's
45
playing
points.
top two lines. No chance.
Dude, he gets paid $6.1 million. He kind of has no choice.
He's getting paid $6.1 million because they had to
Yes,
try to
but
steal
okay,
him.
but this
Next
is what I'm
year,
trying
he's
to.
gonna be
Okay,
getting
but
paid
one year.
$3
my
million
point that I'm
or
trying to make.
something.
The point that I'm trying. Yeah, but the
They
point
don't
that
own shit. They can
yes,
let him
but-
go.
And I wouldn't be surprised if next year he goes back to Europe so he doesn't get laid out on the ice.
Dude, you don't pay a guy $6.1 million to sit him on the fourth line and do nothing. That's
He's
not
not
how
gonna
it
sit on the
works.
fourth, but he's a third line guy. He's
Yes,
gonna
but
be
he's
playing
gonna
third
play.
line
He's
minutes.
gonna trust me. He's gonna play on the top two lines.
They're obviously
Carolina,
gonna give him power
Carolina
play
has to
time and
prove.
stuff,
Carolina has to
whatever.
prove a point with Montreal. What do you think? Why are they gonna pay the guy $6.1 million? But hey, play on the third line. You're gonna play like what 12 minutes a game and that's it. No,
They'll
when it
prove
Carolina's
nothing.
gonna put him next to like a guy like Aho or a guy like
Nothing.
Svechnikov, and they're going to make him thrive.
And when it fails,
Trust
the whole
me.
league's gonna laugh at.
And when it fails, it fails. But they're gonna try it.
They're
He's
gonna
gonna
go
play
back
with
to shooting
Aho.
basketballs at the
They're gonna have
beginning
a
of the
finished
games.
line. It's gonna be him, Teravainen, and Aho. Trust me, it's gonna happen.
Look, I have no problem with the marketing, what they did on Twitter and everything. Like, I didn't really care, whatever.
It was a
I
bit
was
petty.
actually very happy that he got offer sheet. I'm like, bro, he's gone. But look, I just don't like him as a player because I felt like he was not a hustler. The type of hockey player that I like to see is a guy who hustles, gives 110%.
Brendan
Guys
Gallagher.
with the winning mentality, guys that get freaking frustrated when they cause a bad penalty, when they're down 1-0 by one goal or whatever. Guys that are gonna make a contribution and do something about it. They're down by 2 goals, 3 goals. They're gonna do something about it. They're either gonna get into a fight. They're gonna try to motivate their team.
Yeah.
They're gonna score a goal, try to make a play. Try to do something to motivate the team, motivate the crowd. Do something. Kotkaniemi, as a top 3 guy that's drafted, has none of those qualities. None of those qualities. He's not a hype man. Doesn't do anything winning mentality. He's just a kid in a locker room. Look at Nick Suzuki at 21 years old or 22. I don't know his age right now. He's around that age,
21.
whatever.
Yeah, 22.
Yeah, 22. Okay, that guy is a leader at a young age already, and he wasn't even drafted.
Yeah,
top
but it's
3.
2 different development things, because what I'm going to tell you is Suzuki went back to junior before playing in Montreal. He finished his junior and then he went back to Montreal. But
He has the right mentality.
but what I'm trying to say is you have to also look at it from a logical perspective, which is Montreal rushed Kotkaniemi, and
Yeah,
that's
100%, I
that's the truth. You can't sit here and be like, well, oh, Suzuki's got this development path. Yeah, but Suzuki and Kotkaniemi went through 2 different development paths. Caulfield went through a different development path. The point that I'm trying to make is these guys, like the Caulfields, the Suzukis that are playing well right now, that are looking good, are guys that went through the different development processes. If Kotkaniemi goes back to Finland for 1 more year, we might have a different conversation this year. We might be saying, okay,
I don't think it's not the Habs' fault. I'm pretty sure Kotkaniemi, if he wanted to
it's
go back to
50-50.
Finland
it's
or
50-50.
Sweden, wherever
He
the
didn't put
hell it
effort
was,
where-
he
where-
would have wanted to. He would have left.
He didn't put
Why
the
would he leave?
effort into
If he
fixing
went
the
back to
things
Finland,
that
he would
had
have
to
left.
do.
If he wanted to go and play an extra year in the juniors, he would have gone.
Montreal brought him into the NHL team.
But a player,
Yeah, but a player is
say-
not gonna. A
you
player is
can
not gonna say, "Hey,
decide.
I'm gonna go back to Finland." A player is
Okay,
gonna.
so then there you go. You could have
Okay,
done
but-
that too.
Well,
Yes,
Howard
It
did
goes.
it this year. He said he chose
Yeah,
not to go to
exactly.
Buffalo.
Why wouldn't?
He chose to
Okay,
go back
but
to the
here's what I'm trying to
juniors.
say. Yeah, but him when he was playing in Finland, it's not juniors. That's a men's league. He's just playing in Finland. The point that I'm trying to make is he still had to develop in Finland, and you rather see him develop in Finland than in the NHL, because the NHL is not a development league. You don't go to the NHL to develop. You go to the NHL because you're proven and you're ready to play in the NHL. The NHL coaches, whoever it is, are not ready to develop you. They're done with that. Once you make it to the NHL, you've made it to the ultimate prize. Now it's up to you to prove that you belong there. Right? The best thing that Montreal did was sending him down to Laval, and he played well in Laval, and then he came back and he got injured. And that was the unfortunate part. And maybe if he hadn't gotten injured, we might have had a different conversation, but we'll never know. The point is that he went back to Laval, and in those games in Laval, he was a point-a-game player. So Kotkaniemi's got opportunities here, and he's got a situation where he's got a unique situation in Carolina where he's going to go and play with guys that are very, very good in Aho and Teravainen and Svechnikov and a very good team in Carolina, because they've got a good offensive team in Carolina. And we're going to see what Kotkaniemi is going to do. Am I saying that he's going to go and get 70 points? No. What I'm saying
No, you're
is,
saying 40.
I'm saying 45, because he's gonna get 45. He's not that bad, bro. He got 20 points in 56 games. He's on pace for
It's
40.
not horrible. But
That's
he doesn't
on pace for 40
improve.
points.
He's just the same
In an
player
82
every
game
year.
season, that's 40 points in an 82
I don't
game
see any
season.
improvement over the last.
So,
like
The best part of his
seasons.
game is passing, and that's it.
So there you go.
Just passing.
He needs to
Well, I
work
mean, he's
at the
wor-
things that he's
he's-
lacking.
And
at.
now you're telling me
Physicality,
he's also playing winger,
shooting on
something he's never
net.
played before.
You know,
He's
He
got
needs
a good shot,
confidence.
too.
There's a lot of things that he has to work on, and like over the years, look. They always say that Montreal fans put too much pressure on like developing rookies and all that stuff, and also the organization rushes players. I understand the development is not great, but for me as a fan of hockey, if you're gonna watch a player, you want to see improvement over the years. I'm not expecting a guy to go from 10 points to 80 points the next
Yes,
season. I want to
obviously.
see improvements in the things that you're lacking at. Okay, and every time I watched him on the ice, I never saw any of it. I saw glimpses of it, and then it would fade away, and I would never understand why.
But
He's a very inconsistent player that lacks confidence, and maybe the organization didn't give it to him. Maybe the coaching staff didn't give it to him. Maybe the players on the bench didn't give it to him. Maybe he didn't feel comfortable. It's understandable, but come on, at a certain point in time, you need to do something about it. You're pissed off. You want to prove a point. You got to do something about it. If you earn your own spot in the NHL, he did at a very young age. They gave him the confidence to do that. And what did he do with it? Nothing much. And I understand he was 18 years old. It's hard and whatever. But if you want to earn your spot, you need to be consistent. And you don't have to be consistent point-wise or whatever. Just play a consistent type of game, a style of hockey. That's all you have to do. And with time, points are going to come. Results are going to show. That's all I want to see. And unfortunately, he never did that.
I just think, look, here's how I see it. I think he's going to go to Carolina, and he's going to do what he has to do. Whether it's bad or good, whether it makes Montreal look bad or not, I think that's what's going to happen. He's going to go to Carolina, and he's going to try to see if he can refine his game. Right? They clearly believe in him because they paid him $6.1 million.
Refine what? He never had it.
Okay, but
Go find nothing.
Okay. He's a third overall.
He's gonna go there and find
Alright.
nothing. He's
Alright.
gonna go there and he's gonna, you know what he's gonna find? He's gonna be like, oh, I'm even worse than I thought I was.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then Carolina's going to see it.
I
But
think he's gonna have.
I think you're just saying that because you're happy he's
And if he
gone.
does
But the
blow
point
up,
that I'm
then,
trying to make is Kotkaniemi is not a bad hockey
I'll
player.
admit that I was wrong.
He got drafted third overall for a reason. You can't just say he's a
He
bad
got
hockey
drafted
player.
third overall because the guys that are drafting for the Habs have no idea what
It
they're
would
doing.
be sick to see him grow
Development.
up and for us to be wrong. And then it shows that our development is really, really bad.
Well, dude,
Worse than what it really is, okay? I understand that, okay? I take full responsibility that the Habs developing and their drafting sucks. They're good through signing UFAs.
But you want to know
and
why
they're
it
good
sucks?
through trades. I'll give them that. But if this guy
Don't say what you're about to say. 'cause
No,
I feel
I'm
like I
gonna
know
say
you're
what I'm
gonna
gonna say.
No, don't say what
It's
you're
gonna
gonna
get
say.
very political.
Don't
here.
say what you're gonna say. Don't say what you're
I'm
gonna
gonna
say.
say it. I'm
Don't-
gonna
bro,
say it. The reason
That has
why
nothing. That has nothing to do with anything.
it has
No,
a
it doesn't.
lot to do.
It doesn't.
The reason
It
why
really
the
doesn't.
Habs have been
Okay.
struggling for the longest time
I know what you're
is
gonna say.
because they always implement that
No.
everything needs to be French.
No,
It is
that has nothing to do
100%.
with it.
Back in the day,
That has nothing.
all
to
the
do with it.
players that were on the Habs
Were
were very
Quebecers.
strong Quebecers.
Yeah.
I agree. I
Okay,
agree.
There you go.
But that time has passed.
Okay.
There hasn't been a crazy player to come out of Quebec in years. You could argue Lafreniere, he's not there yet.
Okay, let me ask you something. Then
Jonathan Huberdeau,
why are Montreal's two best players at the
Tatis
wait? Let me ask you
No, but
something.
I mean, like,
Why are Montreal's two best
recently,
players at the moment?
2010s. Come on.
Why is it that
Huberdeau.
Montreal's two best players at the moment are
One
Nick
guy.
Suzuki and Cole Caulfield and Carey Price?
The
Are
Habs
those
team
guys
was
Quebecers?
stacked.
Carey Price got developed in Montreal to Quebec
Carey
coaches.
Price.
Maxime Comtois.
Carey Price was an all-star
Nick
goalie
Suzuki-
coming into the
Nick Suzuki-
NHL.
Nick
They
Suzuki
already
got
knew
developed-
he was crazy.
Nick Suzuki got developed by Claude Julien. That's a Quebec coach. Cole Caulfield got
Nick
developed.
Suzuki was not developed by Claude Julien.
Well, he came in and
He came in and he just so happened to be good.
Okay, if you
Well,
want to go based on like
the point
past
is, bro,
results,
you're
okay,
They have
the comment of
you're
French
they
coaches
have,
is a bit.
It
It has nothing to do
completely
with it.
true. You
It
have
really
so many
no.
guys that are probably experienced. Like why? You
It's
have
part of the culture. You
I'll
can't
tell you this. I'll
disrespect
tell
the
you this.
culture.
You have a.
You're in Quebec, bro. If
let's
you're not
say
happy, you
have,
can leave.
You have the best available coach in the world who's not hired from any team. He just so happens to be Russian. And then they have a French guy who hasn't been proven and he coached at best juniors. Which one would they go for? They will never take the Russian guy who's the
okay,
best
but
in the world.
this is okay.
Why would you have a reason to succeed? They can,
Now we're
he can make you
going off.
succeed.
Yeah, but we're going off
but yeah,
topic.
I'm gonna say
now.
one thing.
It's
and
not
we're
off
gonna
topic.
It's off topic.
All the draft picks that we've been doing, like I've been. It's either because they're French.
Well, no, the Habs.
Yes.
How many draft
Look,
how many
I'm
draft
gonna
players?
I'm gonna end this right now, and I'm gonna go back on topic. The only mistake they made when they chose language over talent was Louis LeBlanc 2009.
Yes.
Because the draft was in Montreal.
That I agree
That's
with.
it.
And Nathan
That's it.
Beaulieu.
Nathan
Beaulieu's
Beaulieu-
from Ontario.
Yeah,
He's French, no?
He has a French last name, but he's English.
yeah, he's
He's
English.
English.
He's
Yes.
English.
Get
That's
out.
the only time
He's
they made,
English.
they made a mistake.
He was
But-
born in Ontario.
Do I agree
No
with
way.
your
Yeah.
statement? Yes or no? Overall-
I'll even search it up.
In the NHL, you have to always draft talent over language. That's
Didn't
it.
he
That's
play in the
all.
Q?
Anyways, moving back.
He played with the
to-
Sea Dogs.
He was born in Strathroy, Ontario.
Okay, where did he grow up? I don't believe that he lived in Ontario.
He was born in Ontario.
Where did he grow up? There's a difference.
What do you mean? Where did he
Okay,
grow up?
going back
It doesn't
on
matter.
topic- Going back on topic with Kotkaniemi. Okay.
He was.
I think Dvorak is gonna.
It doesn't say. It
get at
just
least
says he was
40 to
born in
50
Strathroy,
points.
Ontario. So that's where
Who
it was.
cares about Nathan Beaulieu? He's gone. He's crap. I don't even know where he's playing anymore.
He's playing in Winnipeg, no?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Playing nowhere.
Look, Christian Dvorak is gonna get 40 to 50 points next year on the second line with the Montreal Canadiens.
Higher than that.
He's gonna be a fantastic fit for them. He's gonna replace Dano. Okay. Can Paling, Paquette, or Perreault and Evans replace Kotkaniemi? Yes and no.
Jake Evans is already better than him, I find.
Defensively. So if they do have trouble depth-wise, like on the center position, what do? There's guys available still. You have Tyler Bozak. He's an established centerman. He's good on the penalty kill. And he's not a bad. He's going to get you 30 points on a team.
Jack Eichel.
Okay? That's not happening. It's done.
I mean, we
Move
have the
on.
prospects for it.
You have Alex Galchenyuk you could bring back at a cheap contract as well. He plays a wing and center. And you also have Ryan Donato. You give him a chance, he's only 25 years old. So you have cheap options that at a low risk, but a high reward. So if they really feel they're stuck and they're in a position that Paling is not ready to make the jump, or Paquette is not good enough to play center, or Perreault is not good enough to play center, and they need a fourth line centerman, because I think Evans is going to play the third line, then you just go get a guy like Bozak, Donato, Galchenyuk, guys that are going to cost you less than $1 million, and they're probably and they're established NHL players. It's that simple. And honestly, I think it's a simple solution. And the Habs have about $2 million left in cap space.
About not even.
So yeah, they could.
Actually, right now they
four.
currently have nothing. They don't even.
No, they have 6 million only used in LTIR, and they have another.
Yeah,
4
they have
million.
about $1 million in cap space, which is nothing, essentially.
Four.
Yeah, but it's
3
it's a
point.
four.
No,
That
they have
means-
less.
That
Because
means
Byron's
they
not
could
going to
use
go on
that money-
LTIR.
They could use that money to get one of those centers, at least one of them, if they feel they're
We'll
really
see.
stuck in a.
I
they're in
think
a position
Galchenyuk
where they're
would
not
be
gonna
a
get him.
solid pickup. As
Anyways,
a worst case,
the-
he plays
The
wing.
point is that all three teams got what they wanted, and I think at the end of the day, that's the most important thing that matters. Montreal got their center that they wanted. Carolina got their young center that they wanted.
Their
Arizona got their
$6.1
draft.
million
But he's playing
troll.
wing.
And I think, yeah, well, that's it. Let him play wing. And I think that
Look, the Carolina Hurricanes are
And
a joke.
apparently, it wasn't even the GM that decided to do that. It was all the owner that told him to do that.
I think it was vice versa. I think it was the GM. I don't even know anymore.
What I heard is the owner really wanted to stick it.
Anyways,
to
all I'm
us.
gonna say to conclude this episode is
Yes.
that I hope you guys love their first live stream, and we're hoping that we can get to 100 subscribers. That's up to you guys if you like our content. So hopefully you subscribe to us and you like this video, and we can promise you more content that is going to be necessarily like this. Probably going to be better as time goes on because we're still starting. But yeah, if you think that there's a lot of controversial things that we've said, make sure to write that in the comment section below. And if you agree or disagree, state that as well. And if there's anything that we were missing that was not said, feel free to write that in the comment section below as well.
And also let us know what you guys think. How many points Kotkaniemi is going to get with Carolina, and how many points you think Dvorak's going to get with Montreal? Because we'd love to know what you guys think about that too. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you soon. Goodbye.